All right, time to check in with Fiona Anderson from Business in Vancouver. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
And we're talking about basically how the forestry industry polices itself.
That's right. There's been some concerns by a number of different forestry organizations that actually are concerned about how they're policing themselves, especially in light of the Mount Polley tailings pond breach. They feel like it's really important to have the social license to operate. And the only way they can have that social license is if people understand what they're doing and are confident that they're doing the right thing. So how the forestry industry did change in 2004, the government used to be a bit more prescriptive. There'd be rules of to-dos and not to-dos. So in 2004, to cut back on red tape, the government actually said, sort of allowed the foresters to police themselves better. They created a professional organization, and they have to look after themselves. Everyone applauds that. Most people really like that. The problem is it leads to some uncertainty, and that's a key problem when we do want to make sure that the companies have social license and that there aren't problems like a breach of a pond. So what are the concerns? And I'll tell you, there's lots of organizations that are concerned. There's the Forest Practices Board, the Association of BC Forest Professionals, and the Professional Employees Association have all raised red flags. Also, the BC Auditor General and the BC Ombudsperson and the Forest Practices Board have issued reports recently. And what are they concerned about? A few things. One, there's an absence of clarity on what and how the rules should be applied. So here we have not the government applying the rules that they've created, but the forest professionals. There's also concerns about whether there's a lack of transparency. Do people really know what these people are doing and how they're governing themselves? There's some inconsistencies. They're governing land based on forest practices. Okay, you can't log that, that's old growth. And then an oil and gas company comes in, they're not logging it, they're just clearing it to put their pipeline in or something like that. So there's some inconsistencies we see among different user groups, and that's a concern. There's also concern on whether foresters are willing to stop operations that maybe put safety at risk. So they're just raising these red flags, mainly because they want to make sure that there is enough regulation in place, that there's enough oversight. They're not complaining about the system itself, but feel maybe it needs to be looked at to make sure that people understand what's going on and that, as I say, there is this social license to operate, because that's really key when one big disaster like a tailings pond breach can affect the whole industry.